Let's talk about CBDCs. This is like digital currency which is going to be issued by central banks. I would like to touch Euro digital currency. We will speak about the blockchain technology, which is going to be implemented in most of the central banks of Europe, let's say, or even in other regions. This technology will enable you to do transactions really quickly and cheap, and it will require just only to pay the blockchain gas fees. And to me, it looks like really revolution, and I think everybody will be using blockchain even don't knowing about this, because the user experience will be the same comparing with the bank applications, and it will be really fast, it will be really cheap comparing with our schemes. But I would like to touch one specific thing, which is risk. What we can actually have as users of this digital currency issued by the governments. The first risk is actually that we can use this technology and we can program the money. What I mean by that, the risk is that the money can be programmable. The central banks, we can apply some specific conditions, and the money can actually go throughout multiple flows according to those conditions. One of the examples can be taxes. If you are paying the taxes, normally you need to do the transaction. But if central bank of, let's say, your jurisdiction will decide that one specific day all the taxes need to be charged from all the wallets in that country, so it can be done automatically. So you are not having control on your money and you cannot decide when you're going to pay the taxes. Of course, I'm not saying that you don't need to pay the taxes, but sometimes in business, you need to manage your cash flow. And maybe today it's not a good day for you to pay taxes, but tomorrow will be okay to do that. So you can actually lose this control. Another part which is positive, let's say, governments can pay you governmental benefits if it's needed, and we can do it automatically. Speaking about the other features of functionality of CBDCs, it can be, for example, spending category restrictions. If you will apply for the EU grant and you will receive money into your business, and you need to invest this money into specific projects based on that specific program for which you got the grant, and some certain limitations can be applied for your expenditure. So if, let's say, there is some specific expenditure you would like to do but it's not on the list, you cannot do it, and basically a transaction can be blocked. And so this is another risk of, let's say, programmable money, that you're just losing the control. Governments will be able to control more. We need to understand that more technology in blockchain we're going to use it, the more programmable money can be. And programmable money can be done by smart contracts. Smart contract, actually, this is like program where you can apply some certain rules and some conditions. And based on that, the money can go into multiple directions based on those conditions. So you can apply a lot of triggers, and those triggers will enable the transactions or restrict the transactions. It may happen in both ways. It depends what specifically governments want to do with that. Also, it may happen that CBDCs can be restricted to use in some specific geographies. So if we will decide that it's not okay to use Euro digital currency in some specific countries in Asia or in US, so it can be restricted. By the nature, blockchain technology can be free for everybody, but you need to understand that CBDCs will be done on private blockchains, not public anymore. So it will be some certain controls in place which allows governments to apply some more rules, because it will be like private blockchain used by many people, and we will decide to integrate this blockchain to other blockchains or not. Also, the governments can use behavior-based penalties. So, for example, if you will do something wrong, we can actually reduce the usage of your money. We can apply some restrictions, let's say. This is another thing what I believe is not really positive to us. And another thing is all the governments will be able to track you down. If you will be making transactions, all the transactions will be online in real time. So we will be able to see where you are spending the money, how you are spending the money, and why you are spending the money. So basically, this is another control which will enable them to control you more, because we will be tracing and tracking your transactions. Every single transaction will be recorded in the blockchain, and we will be able to see when you spend the money, on what you spend the money. And one more thing, speaking about the risks, like automated enforcement, governments will be able to charge you. It's all about the smart rules, what can be applied for the transactions, even before you know about that. And we call it limited appeal mechanisms. Never control what we can apply, so we can control money during the crisis. So let's say if something is going wrong with society, and the government feel that it might be some specific crisis, some protests, or let's say emergencies, we can restrict the money usage for some specific period of time. So just only a couple of examples what can be done with CBDCs and what governments can do. And of course, if you will think about this, we can actually apply many policies, many rules and conditions, and we can program the money. And this is all about it. It's good for the users because you can do cross-border transactions cheaper, easier, and faster. Speaking about the blockchain as a technology, it's actually good. But also this technology will enable governments to apply some specific control on you. It might be a good thing in the long term, but I think we as a people going to lose the control. And for me, it's really a key point to consider.